conversation with the superintendent is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Marino. How are you, sir?
Wonderful. It's good to have you on the air with us, too.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Well, it's a different, it's not exactly a run-of-the-mill school year for anybody, and I know Blairsville-Saltsburg has made some special measures for the COVID-19 crisis, the lack of students in your buildings, and so let's talk about that here this morning. And first of all, let's start by discussing the plans and the contingencies, and nobody can predict exactly what's going to happen. How do you think you guys did ahead of the COVID-19 crisis in making up some contingencies for approaching this thing?
I tell you the truth, I think our district's a little bit ahead of the game. I think as an organization as a whole, if we moved in a positive direction. We didn't jump to any set of conclusions or jump into any plans quickly. And with the support of not only the school board, who at every turn said, yes, go straight forward, we want to give kids instruction, we want to provide kids lunches, supported anything we brought to them, educationally or otherwise. I got to hand it to our staff. Our staff mobilized last week. We put a plan in place to have new lessons, new instruction being taught to our students during this time. They came together, very positive. Within 2 days, we have over 1,000 Google Classrooms going within the district, multiple packets out to those students who have connectivity issues. It was really nice to see this whole school community come together under one effort to really benefit the students of the district. And the whole way through it, everybody, top down, everybody was supportive, positive about it, and worked together to make this the best situation possible.
Had you had some sort of structure in place before for contingencies such as this, or was this a scramble and you had to form a committee and get things done quickly?
This was pretty much a scramble. We took the first 8 days, 7 days of the closure, and really thought about what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it, what the state was saying, talking to the other superintendents in the county as well, who have been very supportive and a great resource, and then put our plan together. We did not have a plan in place for a total shutdown.
Yeah, hardly anybody did, because you just can't conceive of something like that. And there are so many things that you have to then think of that, wow, these are things that we just take for granted. These are structures in place and things will happen as they should. And all of a sudden, everything has to be reconsidered. So the plan that you put together is a non-optional plan, which is a little bit different from some of the other school districts in Indiana County. Talk about how that came to be and the decision to make this a mandatory things for your students so that they can move forward with their education.
Well, with the direction from the state and so forth, today was talking about the flexible instructional days, that the information being taught or provided to the students cannot be in a remediation or a review mode. So if we were going to ask our staff to come in and get these things together, packets or Google Classrooms and so forth, we might as well put the effort forward and do planned instruction. And as we're doing this, if we want these days to count, we definitely want to know attendance, and we want to create the grade books so that we could build fourth quarter grades for our students. Mm-hmm. So the thought process was, if we're going to put through the effort, let's make sure these count with the state. So that's why we went with the planned instruction as a non-option for students.
As it has worked out here in these first couple of days, has everything been smooth, or have there been a few glitches that you've had to overcome?
Well, with anything new, there's going to be some bumps in the roads, and there's definitely some technology questions and getting things set up that way. But, as we prepared our parents and our community members and our teachers, we know that's going to happen. Let's be patient. We're doing what's best for kids. That's our goal here. That's what we want everyone to keep in mind. Be patient. We will work through these things. This is not a gotcha mentality to see somebody screw up and we're on them. We want this to be positive. We don't want this to be stressful for the parents and the students. Our teachers are online. Our instructional aides and paraprofessionals, they're also online via phone as well, giving those supports to those parents. For all other things, we want to make this an experience that's non-tension and positive for our parents and students.
Absolutely. I really was interested in the Dropbox element of it all for students who can't submit their work electronically or in an online manner. You have a Dropbox system in place, and I know that assignments are due on a certain time, and one of those deadlines will be coming up in a couple of weeks. That's a really interesting approach too.
Well, it's not to overwhelm everybody, and especially our teachers and our students. We decided we were going to do this all in 2-week increments. Give you work for 2 weeks. We'll get it back to us. And then each one of our buildings, we do have a Dropbox that students and parents can drive students to, so forth, and they can drop their assignments off early. The teacher will get those then and grade them and get that information back to them. Again, we're trying to think everything as we go through this to try to make it as easy as possible.
Jeff Souls is the superintendent of the Blairsville-Saltsburg School District. Has there been much difference in dealing with the Blairsville end of the district or the Salzburg end of the district? Is either end more difficult, or are they both working pretty smoothly?
Oh, no, it's that's one thing. When it comes to our kids and providing education, both communities are strong supporters. They rally to do whatever we need them to do. Our lunch program is a perfect example. We're utilizing buses to go to certain bus stops and drop off lunches to the kids as they come to the buses. We have no problem filling up that chart for volunteers on those buses on both sides of the district. Again, very supportive, and both communities have been very patient and supportive of what we're trying to do.
I know that you always look for feedback to find out what's working, what's not, and I'm sure that you've got some from the teachers. Have you heard from parents or students about how it's working?
Well, since we just got started, yesterday was actually the first day. We're going to wait a little bit longer, and probably during the next session, the next 2-week session, is when we'll start asking for feedback, as well as if what we're doing is working for their child or not, and how we can better the system.
One of the great things about the way that communities come together for this is sometimes you come up with new educational alternatives that maybe hadn't been considered before. It's always great that there are school districts that operate their own charter schools or that have some sort of online element. And I know that you're going to look at this and you're going to digest everything. And who knows what education looks like in the future. Have you considered some of the things that are working and said to yourself, this could be something that we really look at more closely in the future?
Oh, absolutely. As we talk as an administrative team and just through the other educational people, this is going to change education as we move forward.
Yeah.
And we firmly believe that. So this is something I think all districts, not only us, but we'll have to be prepared to go to either an online or a virtual or a hybrid type model at a moment's notice.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Maybe we hadn't really considered that in the past. Still doing the 10 o'clock superintendent's calls every day?
Yes.
So I got to get you off the line and get you to it.
Yes.
Hey, Jeff, thanks so much for checking in with us. Sounds like Blairsville-Salzburg's got a really good approach.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time and let me talk a little bit about all the great things that are happening here at BSSD. So thank you, Mr. Marino, for your time and inviting me to chat with you today.
Our pleasure, and anytime you need to come on and let us know something new, you be sure to do that, okay?
I will, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, bye now.
Bye-bye.
There he is, Jeff Souls. He is the superintendent of the Blairsville-Salzburg School District.